oh, you look like a little thug.
Your mom said that to you.
Oh my God. A parent didn't like their kid's haircut. Never has happened in history.
As a black man who used to be a black boy, black teenager, when I had an afro and I was getting cornrows and stuff, same thing happened to me.
Same thing happened.
And I don't have white parents.
Listen, I grew up in a black family, and I had to cut my hair the way my parents wanted me to have my hair cut. Have you ever critiqued your kid on how they cut their hair?
Yeah, my kids played sports, and they always had to have a clean haircut.
Why couldn't they just rock like a mohawk or, you know, or whatever they wanted to rock?
Because even in the schools that we went to, if your child looks like they could possibly be trouble, they don't listen to the whole story.
Does the way you cut your hair really matter?
I mean, I don't know that it does anymore. It did a lot back when my kids were small.
I know nowadays, you know, putting color in your hair is popular. And I've seen people with professional jobs that have color in their hair. And still, you know, you kind of look at them kind of like, you know, this. I mean, if they do the job well, then, you know, you don't have anything to say. But you're always kind of looking for, it's like, yeah.
Cookie Monster Blue.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know,
Okay.
like, I don't know if I really want Cookie Monster to be doing my taxes. If something comes back as a mistake, you like, see, I told you I shouldn't have. There are perceptions with hair. And the cornrows in the black community has always been a certain perception. Cornrows in the black community has kind of had that, you know, the kind of that rap, you know, professional athlete, you know, i.e. sometimes thuggish, and especially for young black boys. So I remember when I was trying to grow my hair out, and I was in middle school going to high school, and I had always had a clean cut. I used to have hair, and I had a fade. And so when I was trying to grow my hair out,
I used to have hair.
I did. And so when I was trying to grow my hair out, it had gotten about, I guess, about right here. And I decided I wanted to put like little rubber bands in my hair, you know what I'm saying? So I came home one day after somebody had done this at school, and my mom was like, "What are you doing? Like, take that shit out of your head." My parents was like, "No, that's not a good look for you." But anyway.
I have a black mom and a black dad who did not like that, especially when I started wearing Chuck Taylors and Snoop Dogg had that murder case. Oh, you think you Snoop Dogg? Oh, you think you Snoop Dogg? Oh, no. He made me, especially when I was getting in trouble in school, he made me cut my hair because for whatever reason, me having a big afro and wanting to get cornrows and wearing Chuck Taylors equated to me wanting to be a thug, or I'll never be able to get a good job or anything else. Like, I don't think that's something that's exclusive to race.
That does seem a little extreme.
I mean, as a parent back then, I thought just like his parents thought. I thought that, you know, people portray you as kind of you look. But now, I probably would let my child put some cornrows in their hair because I feel like that's just neat, and you don't have to worry about their hair. Like, you know, you don't have to worry about them like taking care of their hair every day. It's just,
I will say times have changed, and so my daughter came in yesterday with cornrows, pretty much cornrows in her head that she did herself, or whatever design she had.
braids.
Okay.
A lot of braids.
Okay, well, anyway, look, see, I don't know the difference. But I would say more so back then when Colin was coming up versus probably now. Because when you go on resorts and when you go, you know, when you go on vacation, you see a lot of older white women getting cornrows now because they're like, "Oh, come, let me do your hair." You know, these little huts and stuff. And so you'll see a white woman with half her head cornrowed.
Yeah.
And she might be in her 50s or 60s. It's like,
yeah, and it hurts. I did it once, and no way. I don't know how people do that all the time. That hurts.
So I think perception has changed a little bit on the whole cornrow. And plus, I would say with rappers now being more in the mainstream, because if you take back in the day, Snoop and different people like that, they were on the outcast of society at the point in time. But now you got Snoop cooking with Martha Stewart, and you got all these. I mean, like,
in
really,
the Skechers.
Yeah, it's wearing Skechers. Like, who the hell is gonna wear Skechers? And so you have all these people who are part of that culture now that are now mainstream. Now, at the same time, I will say that parents, to a degree, do owe it to their kids to teach them, you know, what society is looking for and what society may look at you as. You know, if you do wear a certain hairstyle, or if you do get tattoos, you know, everywhere, i.e. on your face and your neck and stuff. And the thing is that doesn't make you as a person, but society, and when I say society, the general population, general public, are going to look at you a certain way for the most part because it's still on the fringes of society. And so I think parents owe it to their kids to like at least teach them, and then when you get on your own, you can do your own thing, but at least you were giving some type of, some type of base to start out from, because when you get out and you get out in the world and the world may be treating you a certain way, if the world is treating you a certain way and you've done some of these things, then you'll know it's like, hey, let me possibly try going a little more clean cut. Maybe the world may treat me a little bit differently. If you don't know that and you don't know that there are, guidelines for certain things, then, some kids are being set up for, destruction. There is a time and place to be young. There's a time and place to sag. There's a time and place to wear clothes that are 2 times too big for you. But then there's a time and place.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. It's like people go through look, black people, young black people go through their thing and young white people go through their thing. I think young white people sometimes go through this blackout where they wear all these black clothing and black nail
pajamas
Yeah.
everywhere.
So that's what's going on nowadays.
Do you not own clothes?
So nowadays it's the pajama thing. It's
Yeah.
like kids come out in their pajamas, they go to school in pajamas.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand either.
But try going to a job interview in your pajamas. It's not going to work out so well. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, but if you teach your kids what it's expected and then they decide to do something different, then at least they know what is expected,
Colin Kaepernick may not understand that black parents tell their kids the same thing because he wasn't raised by black people.
So I don't think this is a black and white thing. I don't think this is a racist thing. I don't think this is a racism thing. I think what it is, I think it was just Colin Kaepernick's, adopted parents, which were white, were only trying to look out for him and to raise him up to the way where the world may look at him a certain way if he wore a certain hairstyle. And let's just be honest, is that when you're in school, like you were saying, if you're in school and you have a certain hairstyle, teachers may treat you a little different and principals may treat you a little different versus, like you said, if you're a clean cut kid, you may be able to, even if you're a clean cut bad kid, you may be able to skirt by with a little more things.
For sure.
And then especially if you're hanging out with people after school. If you're hanging out with a group of people after school, if you're a little more clean cut, you may not get in as much trouble as the other ones who are rocking cornrows, saggy pants, and and the old NWA look. You may get passes on more things. If I'm going to be bad, then I'm going to dress like I'm not bad. I'm going to look like I'm not bad. I'm going to be sneaky with it.
But even watching basketball, high school basketball, college basketball, when I played sports, you had to have your hair pulled back. If you had long hair, it had to be pulled back from your face. Now, these girls are playing basketball with 2-inch eyelashes.
Yeah.
Their hair's down.
Yeah.
They still play, but
look
we were convinced back in high school that if your hair wasn't pulled back, it was a distraction.
They look like either they went out before they got to the basketball game, or they're going out right after the basketball game.
Right.
And they're still out there balling. They're still out there playing. So it's not taken away from.
No,
that's
what I'm saying. Times have changed.
Yeah. And so, but there is still a perception with some things, and I think is that, that possibly is always going to be there. It's always going to take a while or a generation for perceptions about things to change.